everyone! I'm actually filming this on a Saturday, which is breaking a habit because I tend to film my YouTube videos on a Sunday. And as I have mentioned on this channel before, I am very much a creature of habit. That is definitely still true. Unfortunately, I have come to the conclusion that a lot of the habits I have are just plain dumb. Either because they are incredibly annoying, be it to myself or, everyone around me, or because no good can come from these habits. Such as yeah, I have a really dumb habit of watching food videos right before bed. Sometimes it's a cookery video where someone's showing you how to make something and I think, ooh, I'd like to try that. Except, I'm in my jammies and about to go to sleep. Sometimes it's friends trying a food for the first time, or it's people who have bought multiple items and are ranking them. I don't know what it is, but my brain likes to switch off from the day by thinking about food. Of course, whilst this is good for me in as much as I've realised something that makes my brain happy and that I enjoy, and I am a foodie. I love food. I like cooking. I like eating. Food is good. But as much as it's good that I have recognised that about myself and I know that I can chill my mind out at the end of the day by watching some food videos, watching stuff like that right before bed ain't so clever. You can all pretty much imagine how watching food videos right before bed makes me feel. I inevitably become starving hungry. Right when I'm supposed to be asleep. Oh, I'm never gonna get to sleep. All I can think about is how much I want to eat a massive burger right now. I realise that I should probably find something else to switch my brain off with at the end of the day. I do have a much healthier habit that I balance that one out with, which is that I do try, sometimes I fail, but I do try, to turn my TV off at 11 p.m. and spend the time before I actually go to sleep reading a book. And that, means that hopefully I can push the thoughts of being very hungry out of my brain. But unfortunately, watching food videos is not the only dumb thing I do right before bed. Ooh. 11:30. I should definitely get some sleep. I should paint my nails first though! Most habits are formed for a reason, and this one is very much one of those habits. Now, I worked for many years as a nursery nurse, and for a long time we were not allowed to wear nail varnish, not even clear, we were just not to wear nail varnish. And when we were finally told we were allowed to, it was a huge moment of celebration. We didn't have a lot to celebrate. We worked really long hours for not very much pay. The trouble is, everybody at head office was like, you can wear nail varnish, but it must not ever be chipped. Also, it had to be only natural shades. And so that posed an issue because when you're a nursery nurse, you're doing a lot of hands-on work. Whether it's painting pictures with the children or digging in the garden to show them how things grow, your nails take a bit of a beating, and therefore quite often I would get home from a shift that had started at 8 in the morning and finished at 6 p.m. and I'd be like, oh, my nails don't look so pristine. But I would be tired and it would be dinner time and I'd eat and then I'd be exhausted from the day, so I would just want to slouch in front of the telly and the evening would wear on and it would get to the point where I was thinking, oh, I need to be up early for work tomorrow, I need to get to bed. And I'd glance down and there would be a chipped nail and I'd think, I need to paint them again before tomorrow. There are many problems with painting your nails right before bed. Come on, I'm so tired, I want to go to sleep. Please dry. Of course, course, nowadays I work from home. I could paint my nails at any time of day, any colour I choose. And yet for some reason it's so ingrained in me, this weird habit of painting my nails right before bed, that I still do it. And consequently, I quite frequently wake up with nail varnish all over my fingers, or, smeared and just not neat and tidy at all because I've painted it just before I've gone to sleep. What's wrong with me? But not all dumb habits happen right before bedtime. My worst habit, I would say, is something I can do at any time of the day or night. Yep, we've mentioned on this channel before that I am an overthinker, and that means I can rarely just, let things go. For example, if I'm driving and someone really dangerously cuts me up or overtakes me on a bend or something, I will beep my horn at them, but then I won't just, go, that was an annoying incident. I will brood on it for several minutes of my journey. I will start imagining that it turns out the person who's just done the dangerous thing is going to the same place as me. And when I arrive there, they get out of the car and start shouting at me for beeping my horn. And I'm like, oh my God. Sometimes I think I'd be too intimidated to say anything back. And sometimes I think my angry Greek side would come out and I would scream and shout and say, but you're the one who was in the wrong. And I am consumed by this imaginary argument that has not happened and will not happen for the rest of the time I'm in the car. And it's not just in the car. I could be out somewhere and I could see somebody doing a thing, and if I don't feel brave enough to actually call them out on it, I will have the entire thing happen in my head. And sometimes, and I realise this sounds completely insane, sometimes a person will not have even done anything. They will just, look at me weird. And I start imagining that they're going to have a go at me for something and they've done nothing physically other than just, maybe look at me with a facial expression I've interpreted as bad. But I start thinking, I wonder what it is that they're going to have a go at me about. I need to stand up for myself. And a whole argument will ensue in my brain with this absolute stranger who's done nothing. I can't decide if this is making me sound like a very angry person. I'm actually not. I think it's more the case that because I'm not, I do it all in my brain. Does that make sense? Am I just weird? The answer to that is of course yes. And naturally, of course, I do this with the internet a lot. I will be on Twitter and I will see somebody saying something and they're just an obvious troll spoiling for a fight, and I'll just think, I don't want to give you the satisfaction of rising to the horrible thing you've just said, but I am going to imagine what I would say for the next half an hour. It's ridiculous. I will just imagine getting into a furious row, and like I said, it takes over my entire brain for ages, and it's not good for me. It just puts me in a grump, to be honest. I don't know why I keep doing it, but for some reason, I do. What are you doing? Nothing. Are you having an imaginary row with somebody again? Maybe. I have plenty of other dumb habits that I could bore you with. For example, Leslie told me that I make a lot of noises recently, and bless her, she says I do it when I'm happy and that makes her happy, but I can imagine it's very irritating to be around me when I'm just randomly going, ooh, or, humming guitar solos. I hum guitar solos a lot. If I'm listening to a song and I know how the guitar solo goes, I just find myself, that's gotta be annoying. But I'm not going to go on about the rest of my dumb habits because honestly, my sense of self-worth can't really take that. Do you have dumb habits? Do you do things that you think, why am I doing this? It doesn't have any good outcomes, and yet I just keep repeating it over and over and over, which I believe is the definition of insanity. Let me know in the comments so I feel less alone with my weirdness. This is just one of the many ways in which I'm weird. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can click on my floaty head if you'd like to subscribe, and last week's video is over there. I'm going to go and try not to have any imaginary arguments in my head. Wish me luck. Speak to you next week. Bye.